Fundamental rights are at the core of values of the European Union. Fundamental rights apply to all people, regardless of their nationality, religion, gender, sexual orientation, age, or immigration status. They apply to people in the European Union, including all people at the borders. The protection of fundamental rights is an essential element of integrated border management and of all Frontex activities. The Frontex Fundamental Rights Officer provides independent advice to the agency to ensure all its activities comply with fundamental rights and international law. All Frontex officers are also trained on fundamental rights to raise their awareness and understanding, and to enable them to identify potential violations.
For Frontex Fundamental Rights Officer, a number of independence guarantees are in place to ensure that we deliver objective and independent advice in our role that we have. For instance, that we report directly to the management board and not to the executive director of the agency. Equally independent are the fundamental rights monitors that my office is equipped with, that are deployed to operational areas to deliver monitoring, but also advice and training where that is needed. The Fundamental Rights Officer also leads on investigations, on looking into follow-up on incidents reported from the field, so-called serious incident reports, and we also lead on the fundamental rights-related complaints that the agency receives. And finally, the Fundamental Rights Officer also has a strong advisory role, providing advice to the agency, to the executive director, to the management board, but to all the business entities when it comes to all the full spectrum of processes, from operational plans to working arrangements with various countries, and down to very detailed things in various in-house processes. Making sure, offering advice, making sure as far as we can that we are in compliance with EU law and international law.
In the European Union, these rights can be found, for example, in the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union and the European Convention on Human Rights. Within and beyond the European Union, international human rights law also applies.
So that includes migrants, irregular migrants, in border areas, in EU territorial waters, and in international waters controlled by EU authorities.
Border and Coast Guard officers play a crucial role in guaranteeing effective access to international protection, as well as identifying and referring vulnerable persons. These include children traveling alone, pregnant women, persons with disabilities, elderly, victims of human trafficking, sexual crimes, or other types of violence.
Border guards need to pay special attention to vulnerable persons and identify potential victims of trafficking of human beings, unaccompanied children or persons requiring medical assistance. If you come across such a people, please refer them to the national authorities. Wherever someone asks for asylum, instruct them on how to apply for international protection. Give the person essential information and notify responsible officer to refer to their competent national services.
Respect, protection, and promotion of fundamental rights lie at the heart of every Frontex operation. No matter if you are a border surveillance officer, a screener, debriefer, stolen vehicle detection officer, or advanced level document expert, you should always respect those rights.
Frontex is responsible and accountable for all decisions and actions taken under its mandate. By taking part in a Frontex operation, you commit to respect fundamental rights and to report any action or failure leading to their violation. How can you protect those fundamental rights at the border? Well, by properly identifying vulnerable persons and those seeking international protection, and then referring them to the national authorities. If you come across someone whose fundamental rights have been potentially violated, you can also help by informing them on the Frontex complaints mechanism, making sure that a person who wants to submit a complaint can do so. Also, submit a SIR, a serious incident report, whenever you see, witness, or hear about a potential human rights violation.
Deployed officers have to be respectful when checking the identity of persons or their documents. They must respect their dignity and integrity in every situation, even when someone tried to enter the EU irregularly. Remember that collective expulsions are prohibited under EU and international law. It is also against the law to hand over migrants at the border to third country authorities without prior individual assessment and without giving them the possibility to apply for international protection.